look better? Okay? Okay, so let's turn this over and let's look at the two-dimensional array exercises we have on the back here. And I want everybody to fill in number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to pull it up. So we've got a two-dimensional array called matrix. Everybody, what course do you learn that in? Is that discrete? Linear algebra? So you guys know what a matrix is. It's a table of numbers. So in this case, we've created a matrix which has 4 rows and 3 columns. So everybody, the value of 0, 2 is 9, 5. So go ahead and fill in 2 through 4. Make sure you know how to read these values. Now I've given you the row number, so I've made it kind of easy, right? Because I put the row numbers in the example. But a lot of you were struggling with the tic-tac-toe, remembering that they're all 0-based. 3 rows means you have row 0, 1, and 2. There's no row 3. So in this case, we have 4 rows. So we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. And 3 columns, which is 0, 1, and 2. So what is the value of matrix sub 2 sub 1? 7.8. What is the value of matrix sub 1 sub 2? Minus 45, good. What is the value of matrix sub 3, 1? Okay, good. So that's good so long as I gave you the row, I put the row numbers in there. I won't be doing, you know what I mean? Like that's, okay? So typically you're not going to have these 2 top columns when I ask you those types of questions. Okay? All right, so let's try the last problem, which is to create a character table called junk with 4 rows and 5 columns and set every value in junk to all blanks. Declare the array, and then set it to blanks. Who wants to do the array declaration for me? This is easy. Come on, who wants to do the array declaration for me? Victim or volunteer? Andy, can you declare it for me? Pass. Anybody else? Okay, yeah, awesome. Kelvin? It's care, just FYI. And it's called junk. Poor Jeff. Semicolon? Thank you. Who would like to set all the values in the array to blanks? Yemi, you up for it? We'll help you. So what do we need whenever we're working with a whole two-dimensional array? We need what? Nested for loops. And the trick that I gave you is use good names for your indexes rather than I or J. So the outer for loop is going to be, what would be a good name for the outer for loop index? What would be a good name? Row, right? Okay, so go ahead. And where should he start row? Okay, and where should row go to? Less than 4, right? If we do less than 4, then it'll go 0 to 3. Good. Okay? Less than 4. Don't listen to him. Less than 4. It's 3, but it should be, let's not add a new number. I like less than 4, okay? All right. Okay, good. And then what should your second one be? Don't put a semicolon there. We don't want a semicolon there, okay? And then the next guy is going to be what? Column. And column's going to go from 0 to 5. Does this make sense? It's 0 base, so you've got to get used to that. But if you start at 0 and go up to the number, not including the number, you'll be okay. Started at 0. Okay, then what should he do inside the loop? You're going to take what? Don't tell him what. Do you know what to do? What's the array name? Yep. You don't need to set it to anything, just row and column. Do you see what I'm saying? So it'll go through, and then just set one, and then say equals, and to give it a blank. You know how to do that? Single quote, blank, single quote. That's it. Single quote, blank, and that's it. Semicolon. That's it. Does that make sense? That's it. Okay. And then anything you want to do. Thanks. Anything you want to do to that array. What about if I wanted to print it? What's that? Add C out, and I'd have to think about when to do the endl again, and the endl goes at the end of it. Who wants to try printing it? Who wants to try printing this? Ryan, you up for trying it? So to print this, printing it straight is easy. Printing it horizontal is easy. Getting it lined up right is a little tricky. That's when I say to ask yourself, when do I want the endl? Okay? You can copy and paste everything. Why don't you just copy and paste everything and make a whole new, not that, yeah. Copy and paste the for loop. The mouse is a little temperamental. Okay, so he's going to change that guy to, okay. All right, so now what did I do in order to print this tic-tac-toe board? The equal blank goes away. Okay, so try it. Go ahead and try. Oh, well, wait a minute. Can we change it to something besides a blank for now? Because if we try this, it's not going to work. Why don't you put like not here. Not in the print. Get rid of this here. But let's change it to something. The dollar sign's fine. Let's put a dollar sign there. And then get rid of this guy here. And let's see if get rid of this. The equals. No. Just the equals. Yeah. And then see if it works. And we'll see if we can talk our way through why it's not printing. The whole blank thing needs to go away. You got an extra blank. There you go. Okay, so run this. And what's the problem? It's all vertical. So do you remember how I fixed this? I added another set of brackets so I added a bracket here because, return bracket, because I'm going to print the whole row, and then I'm going to come down here and put a cout endl after. Do you see how that, do you see? Okay, so right here, the end of that line, that needs to stay there. Put it back. So come add a new line after this. There, now do a cout endl. Because then I'm going to finish the whole row, then I'll do an end line. If it makes sense, don't try to memorize this. Make sure it makes sense, or don't try to find it on your... That'll work, unless you want the space between it. That's fine. It's going to be all together, but that's fine. Oh, we have an extra, you need a semicolon. Get rid of the extra arrow. Semicolon. Okay? Make sense? I think we have this lab. Looks good. Okay, so we have one thing left. So let's look at the syllabus a second. I think we can stop recording. Okay, so we have a busy, busy day in lab tomorrow because if you didn't finish the